In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. It's me, your English teacher, Fazaia Intermediate. Today we will discuss lesson number 2, A Shot in the Dark, which is a beautiful composition of Hector Hugh Munro. But before going to discuss the summary of this lesson, first of all we will take the bird eye view of the author actually. Hector Hugh Munro was born in 1870 and died in 1916. He wrote under the pseudonym of Saki, and he was a novelist and a short story writer who was born in Myanmar and educated in England. The word pseudonym is actually described which mostly writers use to take instead of their original name, and they mostly use it in their writings. So Saki is not his original name, but he writes all his recountings under the name of Saki, you can say that. He joined the police force in Burma in 1893 and returned to England in 1896. He also worked in a newspaper, and at the age of 40 years old, when he was 40 years old, he volunteered for active services in World War I and was killed on the Western Front. If we discuss about the literary services of Hector Hugh Munro, we found that he is best known for his many varied short stories. He had a highly individual style, and his humorous, satiric, and supernatural macabre stories are full of eccentric wit and unconventional situations. So dear students, that's all about the author, and now we will discuss the main characters of these lessons. So first of all, we discuss the characters. There are basically three main characters which we find in this lesson. Number one is Philip Slitherby. Many of the teachers and students pronounce it Philip Slitherby, but it's okay because it's a name. Philip Slitherby. The second main character is you can say Mrs. Altmann Jacob, and the third important character is in this lesson is Bertie. Now first of all we will take different bird eye view of these three important characters, so that first of all we have to know about these characters, and after we will discuss their roles in this lesson, in this fiction, and what is the conclusion which we found in this lesson. So Philip Slitherby. Philip Slitherby is basically an mature person who wants to become the MP of Yorkshire. Yorkshire is in an area in England, in London mostly, and he wants to be the member of parliament. For this purpose he strives hard, and he has done a lot of things to become the member of parliament, and he thinks that he is the most smartest guy. The second character which will be discussed is Mrs. Altmann Jacob, a very wise and witty lady. She has a lot of influence in England as well as in the county of Yorkshire, and she was a very well-known political figure. That's all about, you can say, Mrs. Altmann Jacob. Now the third and important character of this lesson is Bertie. Bertie is the son of Mrs. Altmann Jacob. He was 22 years old. He has a fair complexion, dark hairs, and he was a blend of smartness and disarray. So these are the important characters which play an important role in this lesson. So that's all about the characters of this lesson. Fine. After discussing the important characters of this lesson, now we will take a brief start of this lesson. In the start, Philip Slitherby, who wants to become the member of parliament of a county of Yorkshire, he was settled down in an empty railway train, you can say that, and he was discussing something with his acquaintance club, with his friend. Not friend, you can say that, because acquaintance means the persons who knows you, and if we will discuss the meaning of acquaintance is the persons who knows slightly, means the person who you can say that. So he was discussing with him that yes, I was called. I was called from the, you can say, Mrs. Altmann Jacob, and Mrs. Altmann Jacob had already written to him to visit him. So he was very much, you can say that he was very much enthusiastic in order to visit the Mrs. Altmann Jacob's, you can say that, palace or home. So he discussed that Mrs. Altmann Jacob called me to discuss some political issues with her, and so that I just want to go there and discuss all the important events and important issues of political issues, so that my name, so that she will recommend my name, she will approve my name for the member of parliament of the Yorkshire. So meanwhile, a young person who was 22 years old was entered into the cabin and just uh, sit on the bench in front of him, Philip Sitherby. First of all, Philip Sitherby didn't notice him, but after some time, the activities of that particular guy, which is of 22 years old, and his color was a fair color, and he was of 22 years old, as well as you can say that he was a very, it seems that he was a rambler like boy. So he was finding something from his clothes, from his pockets, the pockets of his trousers, the pockets of his coats, and he again put off all the things and then put into all the things. So it seems that he was desperately finding something. He was in a search of some special thing. So after some type of suspicious activities, Philip Sitherby asked him that, what are you looking for? I think maybe may I help you, or what is the problem with you? Why are you searching your thing? Okay, after a lot of searching, he put out all his important things that he used to keep in his pocket. He put out all those things on the front of the seat. For example, the things which he put out are a cigarette case, matchbox, key, silver pencil case, and the railway ticket. These were 6 items that he put out from his pocket, and actually still he was not satisfied. He was searching for something else. Upon asking, he told to Philip Sitherby that actually I forgot my purse somewhere else, and now I'm in a need of money. So I know that you know my mother, and what a coincidence that I'm traveling with the friend of my mother. So Philip Sitherby got shocked that how did he know that I'm Philip Sitherby and I knew her mother. So he asked him that, how do you know? In response, Bertie said that I just heard your conversation with your acquaintance, and you were discussing about something about Mrs. Altmann Jacob, and she is my mother. So the Philip Sitherby was very much astonished. So he wanted to just play a trap with that boy named Bertie. So he said that, okay, it would be a great pleasure for me. Bertie said to Philip Sitherby, it would be a great pleasure for me if you lend me few money, about 6 quids, if you lend me few pounds or few money, so that I would manage myself, I would manage my travelings further. But the Philip Sitherby, first of all, he agreed, but he posed a new thing on it, and he said, you have to tell me, first of all, you have to answer me about my 2-3 questions. So first of all, he asked from Bertie, that what is your crest? I want to know your crest. So basically, dear students, and here I would like to give you the simplest meaning of crest, which I think it is little bit difficult to let you know the meanings of crest. Basically, crest is a type of a signature, a type of a monogram. See, mostly people used to take it along with your name, along with your writings, and it was mostly common in the past. But today there are also some families who used to take their crest and used to take the signature their crest as a signatures. So he told to Mr. Slitherby that crest is Demilion, basically Demilion. Demilion is the upper part of the you can say that lion or a tiger, the upper area of the lion, which represent or reflects the bravery. As you know, different forces used to portray or used to take the upper part of the pictures of the upper part of the line for telling someone that we are the brave one. So basically, this one is a type of a crest. So he told to Philip Slitherby that my crest is Demilion. And when he answered to Philip Slitherby, Philip Slitherby countered him that your mother wrote me a letter and she used the crest of a greyhound. Greyhound is a type of a dog, is a species of a dog which mostly people use for hunting purposes. So there is a clear difference between these two crests. On the other hand, Bertie says that my crest is Damilion, and on the other hand, the you can say the Philip Slitherby or Bertie's mother is saying that her crest is Greyhound. So there is a vivid difference. When he told to Bertie that your mother wrote me a letter and she used a Damilion crest, and you are saying that my crest is Damilion, and upon hearing this, Bertie answered him that basically we mostly used both crests, Damilions as well as you can say the Greyhound crest. We use both crests, but we'll take a little pause over here and after. Okay, when Philip Slitherby encountered Bertie's upon his answer, then there was a tinge of coldness found in his voice. After some time, after a few moments, both the silence will develop among them. At a particular time, Bertie explained them that Greyhound is the Jaguar's crest and Damilion is the Saltpen's crest. So I usually used to take Saltpen's crest because we are really Saltpens. So this is the difference between these two crests. Basically, both crests are okay, but Bertie is usually used to use the crest of you can say that Damilion, and Jaguars is the crest of Greyhound, and her mother usually used to take that particular crest. So he answered the question of Philip Slitherby. Then Philip Slitherby posed a second question. I would like to know the hair color of your mother, and he he told him that I didn't meet your mother, and just there was only written conversation between them, and I didn't see him. So if I will see him, I will know that how will she be. So will you please tell me about her appearance? So here basically Bertie again explains the physical appearance about her mother. That her mother has blonde hair. You can say that. We'll take a pause. Okay, the second question which Philip Slitherby asked from the Bertie, that what is the physical let me know about the physical appearance of your mother, so that I can so that when I will meet him I will recognize her. So Bertie explains that my mother's hair color was dark brown. It runs in our family, and she has a fair complexion and all that. On when he answered that particular question, he again encountered him and said that I met her and she has a blonde hair. You again lied to me, so that's why I'm not going to lend you even a single penny. And after saying this, he just left the train and just got out of that place. So this one was the contradiction between these two, these two important things about Crest, and that was the main reasons That were the two main reasons. So that's why Philip Slitherby didn't lend even a single penny to Bertie. Actually, he was thinking that he was an over smart guy, and he actually played a trap with Bertie, and he was telling him that I have a very wonderful story to tell my fellows in the dinner. So this young guy seems that he would lend money by becoming by becoming the son of Altmann Jacob, and actually he was totally confirmed that this boy was not the son of Bertie, and he made all the conclusions upon his two questions. And the first question is that about the crust, and the second question was about the physical appearance of that particular lady. So, dear students, this is the climax of the story, and it is the most important question of this lesson is that why did not why didn't Philip Citrabile lend money to Bertie? So these are the two main reasons. Because first, the crest he described was not the correct one, and the the hair color of her mother he described was not the correct one according to the Philip Citrabile points of view. So that's all about the crest. So just Bertie's work was cursing on him, and thus he was very desperate because he had already lost his purse, and and this guy was in hope from him, and he also refused to give him money. So basically, this was a great hassle for him to how he would tackle the situations, or he would be able to tackle the situation or not. But that's a matter of a Bertie. Just Philip Citrabile left the train, and as we know that he was you can say that the guest of Mrs. Salpenjago. Mrs. Salpenjago sent a car for him to bring his honorable guest, and he was accompanied with a young tall fellow, basically greeted by accidentally a tall footman and noisily by clad people, and he was an important liar who had apparently travelled down by the same train, and he knew much about Mrs. Sarpanjago. When they both sit in the car, they mostly they have a round of conversations, and he told each and everything about Sarpanjagos. It seems that he knew everything about Sarpanjagos, and he told about all the things about Sarpanjago, and everything. It was a great explanation for the Philip Citrabile about the Sarpanjagos. But Philip Citrabile was shocked. This one is the most important thing why he was shocked in the train, because first he thought that he was the smartest guy, and he just played a trap with the boy. He just refused him to pay money or lend him money. So the most important thing is that, and the most wonderful, you can say that the conclusion is that when he saw both of them were traveling in the car, in the same car, an important liar and Philip Citrabile, and both were discussing. But Philip Citrabile didn't pay any attention to his talking and his discussions. Actually, he was remained silent. And when he saw the door panel of that particular car, he was astonished. Then what happened? Actually, on the door panel, both crests were mentioned. The crest of Damilion as well as the crest of Greyhound. This thing, this is the most astonishing. This was the most astonishing thing for, you can say, Philip Slitherby. So basically, he was actually he first of all he think that he was the smartest guy, and now at that time he was thinking that yes, I'm the biggest fool. That is not mentioned in that book. This is my personal point of view, because I'm just giving you the summarize of. I'm just summarizing all this content. So at that time, it is my opinion, because the boy
traveling with me was actually the son of Altmann Jacob, but I thought that he was not. He was just like someone else. He was something else, and he was telling just rot, and everything was fake. But everything that was communicated to him was exactly right. Everything was exactly right by the about the crest, the description about the crest, the description about the physical appearance, the hair color, everything was correct. But he did a mistake because he think he thought that he was the most smartest guy. So dear students, this was the summary of lesson number 2, a shot in the head. In the end, I would just summarize 3 to 4 lines. Okay, this beautiful short fiction was written by Hector Munro, and in this story there are 3 main characters. Number 1 is Philip Sitterby, number 2 is Mrs. Altmann Jacob, and number 3 is Bertie, who was the son of Mrs. Altmann Jacob. Philip Sitterby wants to become the member of parliament of a Yorkshire. For this purpose, he needs an approval from Mrs. Altmann Jacob. For this purpose, Mrs. Altmann Jacob called him on his own mansion, on his own palace, to just meet him and discuss all the political problems. Philip Sitterby just got into the train, and he was traveling in the train. Meanwhile, he met with a strange passenger who was 22 years old and who asked for lending him some money because he had forgotten his text. He was forgotten his purse somewhere else. So and he was claiming that he was the son of Mrs. Altmann Jacob. So Philip Sitterby became smart, and he asked that if you were the son of Mrs. Altmann Jacob, then give me the answer of at least 2 questions. Let me know about the crest as the physical appearance of the hair color of that particular lady. So the crest, he described that he mostly used Damilion. He mostly used the crest, which is a greyhound, and the crest described by that young guy was Damilion. And the physical appearance, the hair color described by the boy was dark brown, and which he actually saw was the blonde color. So he thought that this boy was joking with me, or he was lying with me. So he didn't give a single penny to him. He didn't give anything to him, and just get into the car and went in the way of Mrs. Altmann Jacob's man. And after this, what happened? When he got into the car, he met with a new stranger. He was an important lawyer of that area who knew all things about Mrs. Altmann Jacob. He told each and everything about her. And when he saw the handle of that particular car, both crest were mentioned, which is an indication that yes, Mrs. Altmann Jacob can use both crest, the crest of Damilion as well as the crest of greyhound. So dear students, it's up to all. What will be the next, it's up to on you. I have described all the things, all the important points up to the best, on my best level, and I hope that after listening this video you would be able to summarize in your own words, and you would be able to answer the question of this question. In the next lecture, inshallah, we will discuss the question answers of this lesson. Thank you very much.